All right, Six Invitational Grand Final tomorrow. I have a banger matchup between Secret and FaZe. But before we talk about that, I want to quickly go over today's games. So first, Fluxo versus W7 or Fluxo W7M versus Secret. Secret did win again. This is their second time playing each other this tournament. And Secret won again. This time it was 2-0 compared to 2-1 in groups, but it was still a very close match. Um, where Secret's just deep map pool um, is kind of just outshining everyone. It's kind of been winning them so many games this tournament, right? They been playing a lot of different maps, and they've been winning most of them. Like the only map they don't really play are Layer and not Border, Fortress, Layer and Fortress. Um, right now, and since they can always just ban those two in the best of threes, or people just don't pick Fortress against Secret when it gets let through the ban phase, either because they're not comfortable in Fortress, or they think Secret are, good on Fortress. Maybe in Scrim Secret slam everyone on Fortress. Who knows? I don't. Um, and nobody does besides the teams attending. It's not public knowledge. They've only played on Fortress one time and lost it. This event, I believe, only once. To SSG. So yeah. Next matchup, Falcons versus Secret. A rough one for Falcons, but it was just like you could tell, bro. It was just like yesterday. They just even like halfway through that first map, you could tell, bro. They just looked rattled and kind of out of it. Maybe not the whole team, but definitely some of them. And again, if it's just like another tournament where Shaiko kind of just quiets down when we get to that main stage portion because bro, Falcons they look they look fucking excellent um in playoffs like when we're not playing on the stage. Besides the game against Shopify, this one was actually really close. Um and Shopify could have won that. Um but yeah, like dismantling Secret, dismantling Furia, right? Two really strong teams. Um but yeah, as soon as we get to the stage yesterday against FaZe, um, it looked fine after the first two maps, right? They lost Bank to FaZe, which is a great FaZe map, and then but they beat FaZe on Border, and FaZe aren't the best Border team, but they've been liking Border recently. The coach said that in the interview himself that they've been liking Border a lot more. Um, but yeah, but then that third map they just got shit on, and then they just couldn't close out at all against Secret today. And then in situations where it looked like Falcons would win Secret, it would just somehow claw it back, or everything would just go Secret's way. It seemed, and you're kind of gonna have that to be a recipe as a champion, right? You can't have the shakes, right? Um, and then you also have to have really good teamwork, deep map pool, good strategy. The strategy is like we're so deep in the tournament that everybody knows everyone's strats for the most part, unless somebody pulls out some crazy pocket shit that nobody's ever seen. But everybody knows everybody's all the teams' basic strats. So yeah, really, I think another big thing for Secret is I definitely think they have like the best map pool of all the teams in the tournament, and this has really been helping them. Um, and the little things, it seems like all the little things kind of just go Secret's way, which is another thing you need to win to be champions. You need to be a little bit lucky sometimes. I would know that after watching the World Series last year. Um, definitely felt a little bit of luck in that one. Well, it was rough. Anyways, um, so yeah, tomorrow FaZe Secret. We know FaZe are going to get the advantage of getting to pick a map automatically, because it came through the upper bracket and it's a best of five. But Secret are, of course, the fabled lower bracket team, where for the past many years now at SI and just most tournaments in general that have had a lower bracket, where the lower bracket team wins the tournament. And it's crazy to think about, even looking back at Munich, right? M80 won Munich, and they went on to the first round of playoffs for a bit, um, because they just couldn't show up. But you got to think of how good M80 was in Munich now, right? Um, because you got to look at the teams they beat to get to that final, right? They beat Wildcard, who are top six here. They beat Secret, who are top two here. They beat FaZe, who are top two here. They beat Falcons, who got third here. It's like actually insane how good and tight the competition is between the top teams in the world, which is really nice. I do enjoy the parity. So what will be interesting as well is I think we're gonna have our first ever SI where the champion won their group, because FaZe won Group C, and then Secret won Group D. So the number one seeds, one of the number one seeds, will actually win the event. And some big history for FaZe Clan too. This is their third SI final in a row, and oh my god, imagine if they won the first one um, as well. That'd be even more crazy. But who knows, if they won the first one, do they go on to win a second one? Right? But I mean, hey, what can you say? They won last year, and they could have got complacent because they won. It's like, oh, we did it, right? But nope, they're back here again, um, at the big dance, and they're here through the upper bracket this time. Um, and now they're the ones coming through the upper bracket where they get to pick first. And I feel like for a FaZe here, I mean, I feel like you have to pick either your layer or your fortress, right? And Secret are going to know that, so they're going to try and prepare for it as best they can. Um, but I feel like that should be like a shoe in for FaZe, where they should definitely at least win that map. Um, but then, yeah, outside of that is where, of course, it will get difficult, because for FaZe, right? I feel like their map pool is a little weaker than Secret, um, but FaZe's map pool is a little different than Secret as well, which does help them a little, because like they play layer and fortress, where it seems Secret don't really do that, unless of course there's always the risk of Secret hiding stuff on fortress because they haven't been playing it, and even the same with layer too, to be honest. Um, because they haven't been playing it this tournament. But Secret have certainly played Lair in the past, so it's not something foreign to them, unlike Fortress. Um, so I feel like this pick here for FaZe will probably be a Fortress or a Lair, which I think FaZe should win. Um, like I said, unless Secret pulls some crazy shit. Um, and then band wise, right? I mean, Secret are gonna. They're both these teams, in theory, will take away one of these teams' best maps. Where I feel like for FaZe it's a little harder here, right? Because now it gets to the point where it's like, FaZe has really good maps, but some of those maps are also really good secret maps. Um, that do you really want to let them have, right? Like Bank, FaZe like Bank, but have we? I mean, have we watched Secret on Bank recently? That shit looks immaculate. Like it looks really good. Um, and of course, so does FaZe, but Secret are on a crazy win streak on the bank right now, and it feels kind of untouchable. Um, but yeah, for this match, I feel like for their ban, Secret will either probably take out whatever's not banned between like Lair Fortress or like a Consulate maybe. I don't think they're like an amazing Consulate team. They did beat G2 on it, but they seem to just not like that map. So probably expect that again, because if we look at like previous bands here, right? Console Layer, Layer. Oh, that's okay. Here they did Club Cafe, but that's because Foxo W7M are really good on those maps. Um, okay, yeah, Fortress Consulate, and then Kira Cafe and Club, because those are really good Weibo maps as well. And then against G2, they Cafe, yeah, they take out the Layer again. And G2 are a really good Cafe team. So like Secret definitely tailor their bans to their opponents, as they should. So they, but it's like definitely their main like mm, bands they run with the most is the layer, um, and they do seem to let the fortress through at times, but it's not like their preferred map. I really also feel like Falcon's trolled by not like taking the Nighthaven Labs in this ban phase. Like come on, bro. Secret aren't that great on Nighthaven Labs. They did beat Fluxo W7 on it today, but like um, Falcons are way better on Labs than Fluxo, from what I know. So yeah. Anyways, for bans here, I expect from Secret probably like a layer or a fortress, and then Phase I think should either take out. I feel like Bank's a little safer for them because they can be competitive on Bank against Secret, and maybe they can be on Border too because they seem competent. But like, for taking Secret to Border is just like it feels like that and Bank they both feel like a guaranteed win, but Bank because Phase are also so good on it feels like a little bit less of a guarantee, like not a complete shoe in, whereas the Border is just like just give it up, bro. Right? So, like they beaten Falcons on Border, they beaten Wildcard on Border, they beat Weibo on Border. Um, so it's they I don't know why P teams keep letting Secret have the Border. It's kind of crazy to me, to be honest. Um, so yeah, and then uh, for pick for picks here for Secret, if Border isn't or Bank isn't banned, if one of those are still here, I definitely see them taking that. And then for phases, next pick, I definitely think they could do Chalet, um, or a Fortress if it's still up, or a Cafe, uh, or maybe even a Clubhouse. Really, any of those. I think I'm leaning more on the side of Cafe or a Chalet for Phase's next pick, and then I feel like um, Secret, if still left up, will probably go with Club or Labs because Phase is, even though Secret aren't the best Labs team, Phase don't look good on Labs when they play that map. Pretty shitty map for them, to be honest. And then that would, I believe, leave. Um, well, I don't know the bands, right? Until, of course, we are certain. So then that would leave potentially things up like I think Fortress. I think be Fortress Club and either Bank or what would be a later map in this ban phase. Be Fortress Club. Hmm. What do Phase like to ban? Cafe Labs. Cafe Labs. Cafe. Okay, yeah. Not a cafe team. So maybe Phase do ban the cafe first in this match too. So which could mean that Bank or Border actually get left up later. It depends really for Phase. Do they ban Secret's good maps or do they ban their own bad maps, right? And I feel like the best thing you can do is just ban your own really bad maps, so you have the best chance on every map picked by your opponent that you might also be more competitive on. I feel like that's the best way to go about it. So looking at that, the 5 maps that I see for this series would probably be um, Bank, Chalet, Border. Phase has been liking the Border, so I can see it go through. Um, since FaZe do get first pick guaranteed, I think they will pick one of Secret's least preference maps, being um, the layer uh, fortress consulate in that realm, and then probably at Clubhouse as well. It's a pretty neutral map, I think, for series like this. I don't feel like um, we'll see the either bank or border. I feel like one of those has to be banned, bank, border, or cafe, by FaZe, like off rip. So that rules those out, and then they'll probably ban another one of those when they get to their second ban, because Secret will pick one of those maps, I suspect, and then they'll ban the other one that's not picked. So FaZe probably get the best maps possible. But uh, all in all, I feel like um, I gotta trust the lower bracket buff here, and that Secret are gonna continue on with the lower bracket shenanigans that have been happening at SI every year basically now, and they will pull out the series because they just feel like that team right now. They look like that team. The they've just been pretty much dominating every matchup, right? Um, so yeah, going with Secret for tomorrow. Also, tomorrow before the final, there's the season reveal. So if you like Cjo, definitely be tuned into that. And next year they announced a couple of things to be excited about. So Shopify and Virtus Pro are getting pro bundles, becoming part of the partner program, and they also announced 100 Thieves are joining the North American League next season. Um, and they are also getting their own R6 share bundle um, as well, I would presume. So that's exciting. And for 2026, our majors are going to be Salt Lake City in May, and we're going to Japan in November. So I feel like everyone's gonna want to go to the Japan major. That one sounds hype. Um, and then SIA is 27. We're going back to Brazil. I don't know if we'll go Sao Paulo again, or this time they'll do Rio. Um, but usually when you have an event in Brazil, it's usually one of those cities. So next year's looking exciting. Plus next year we just get more pro league, right? There's more going on because we're gonna have EWC um, in the slot of the summer major, so we're not really missing out on a big tournament in the summer, and we just have more stages. Like after SI, I think stage one starts in March um, or April. It's like a month after SI. We're right back to the next stage. So, and of course between them we're gonna be covering the roster changes as well. But that's enough today. This video is mainly supposed to be about the SI Grand Final tomorrow, and then we'll talk about the other stuff more in the future, especially when we know more about it. Because we don't even know dates or anything for these events, um, just the months. Um, so yeah, if you watch to the end, thank you and have a good one.